You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
Welcome to Vocal Technologist. It's Web3 Wednesdays, and today we're jumping into the crypto space. Things move incredibly fast here, right?
They certainly do. It feels like constant evolution.
Exactly. So we're going to try and cut through some of the noise, look at the really interesting shifts happening, maybe uncover a few surprising things along the way.
Sounds good. And it's important to remember, this isn't just, numbers going up and down. There's a real re-architecting of finance happening, maybe even how we interact socially.
A fundamental shift. Okay, let's start there. The establishment seems to be, paying serious attention now. JPMorgan, they're predicting Bitcoin is undervalued.
Targeting $126,000 by the end of the year.
Wow. And they're citing lower volatility compared to gold, more institutional interest. I mean, that's quite the headline from JPMorgan. Weren't they skeptical not so long ago? What's changed?
That's a great point. The headline number is big, yeah, but I think the deeper thing is seeing them acknowledge Bitcoin more like a digital store of value, like gold. But it goes beyond just banks making predictions. This is really fascinating. The U.S. Commerce Department.
The actual government.
Yes, the Commerce Department. They've started putting key economic data, like GDP figures, inflation numbers, directly onto public blockchains.
Which ones?
Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. They're working with Chainlink and Pyth. They actually published the 3.3% GDP growth figure this way.
Why? What's the goal there?
Their stated aim is, and I quote, making America's economic truth immutable and globally accessible. So it's about using the tech, the crypto rails, as we call them, for foundational data, not just tracking crypto prices.
Okay, so stop and think about that for a second if you're listening. Governments, major banks. They're not just looking anymore, they're using this tech for critical stuff. But does putting government data on a public chain raise any, new issues? Privacy? Control?
Valid questions.
Yeah.
The data itself is public economic data, so privacy isn't the main concern there. It's more about the integrity. Once it's on the blockchain, it's incredibly hard to tamper with. That's the immutability aspect.
Okay, integrity, got it.
And for institutions, these crypto rails, they offer this sort of invisible upgrade. They help solve long-standing problems like settlement times. The old T+2 delay where trades take days to finalize.
Right, that seems so slow now.
Exactly. And reconciling who owes what to whom. Blockchains can automate a lot of that. We're also seeing things like zero-knowledge proofs pop up.
ZK proofs. Proving something's true without revealing all the details.
Precisely. Useful for compliance while maintaining privacy. And then you have Ethereum's Layer 2 Solutions L2s, offering basically real-time transactions at almost no cost, with guarantees they'll execute correctly.
So it's really about efficiency and trust under the hood, less about the wild speculation we sometimes hear about.
That's a big part of the institutional story, yes. Efficiency, integrity, upgrading the financial plumbing.
Okay, so that's the traditional world adopting the tech. But what about the innovation happening within crypto itself? In DeFi, decentralized finance, the ambition there seems huge.
Oh, absolutely. Unburdened by legacy systems, they can try radical new things.
Like Avantis. They've got this AVNT token for a universal leverage layer. What does that even mean?
Yeah, it sounds complex. Essentially, they're trying to create a really efficient, unified way to manage leverage and yield across different assets. They've done over $18 billion in volume since February, which is pretty impressive.
$18 billion?
And they're looking at the derivatives market for real-world assets. That's estimated at, potentially $2 quadrillion.
A quadrillion? Okay, the scale is just mind-boggling.
It really is. And this brings up a key point. How do regular people get access to sophisticated yield strategies, without needing a huge bank account or special access?
Yeah. How?
Well, projects like EulerEarn are trying to solve that. It's
right.
Permissionless, uses these standardized things called ERC4626 vaults. Think of them like Lego blocks for yield.
Okay.
Curators can build and manage strategies in these vaults, and users can deposit funds. Crucially, it's non-custodial. You keep control of your assets, and the core rules are immutable, set in stone.
So democratizing access to yield, essentially.
That's the idea. And it's not just yield. We're seeing innovation everywhere, like Hyper-EVM.
What's that?
It's built on the Hyperliquid exchange. Think of it as a programmable financial operating system, but built right into the exchange, connected directly to its liquidity.
So you can run automated strategies right on the exchange itself.
Exactly. Without moving funds around constantly. It changes how sophisticated traders might interact with derivatives. And then you have things like Monet cards.
Cards, like credit cards.
Not quite. It's more about community building. They're
What?
targeting crypto influencers, but using this decentralized nomination system. The community helps decide who gets recognized and potentially rewarded. Trying to build a more legitimate ecosystem, avoid some pitfalls of early airdrops.
Interesting. So new models for finance, for community, it's really dynamic.
Absolutely. From JPMorgan and the U.S. government using the rails to DeFi, pushing the boundaries with Avantis and EulerEarn, to new community models like Monad, it's a lot.
It really is. So reflecting on all this, the implications are pretty significant, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. And here's a final thought to maybe chew on. Think about stablecoins.
Like USDC, USDT.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're becoming arguably America's most efficient way to export dollars globally, instantly, transparently. And companies like Rain are building bridges between these stablecoins and traditional banking.
So connecting the old and new worlds.
Right.
Yeah.
It hints at a future where moving money, especially across borders, could be fundamentally different, faster, cheaper, more accessible. That's a pretty big potential shift.
A very big shift indeed, something to keep an eye on. Well, that's all the time we have for this Web3 Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, keep exploring.
And we'll catch you next time on Vocal Technologist.
Spoken Tech for your ears.